here at the podium for the very latest information. Chief.
Good afternoon. I have some information today about a law enforcement shooting that occurred out here at Jacksonville International Airport. First of all, I want to be clear that this has no nexus in any way, shape, or form to terrorism. This is an incident that just so happened to occur in the rental car return parking garage here at Jacksonville International Airport. The Sheriff's Office, as well as the International Airport Police, have been in contact with federal authorities. We've conveyed the facts of what's going on today, and they are aware of everything that's been out here. 2:21 this afternoon, SWAT team members from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office were following up on an auto theft and fleeing and attempting to elude that occurred last week on May 7th. That case occurred with an auto theft that several of the SWAT officers had been in behind a car, attempted to stop it. The subject in that car resisted arrest, was later captured, found to be in possession of cocaine. One of the subjects who was driving that auto theft eluded escape then, and an arrest warrant was issued for him at that time. That investigation led up today when an arrest warrant was being followed up on by the SWAT team members. That led them out to the 6500 block of Norwood Avenue on Jacksonville's north side. Information was that the suspect they were looking for in that auto theft was there. They conducted surveillance and followed a vehicle they suspected that the suspect was in. They verified his identity as the car drove into the rental car return parking lot out here at the airport. It parked on the first level of the garage. The driver of the vehicle stopped the car in an odd position. He exited the car almost in an attempt to see who might have been following him. The detectives at that point in time made a decision to take the suspect down after verifying, again, visually who he was. The subject was obvious to him that the gig was up, that there were police officers behind him. The detectives were attempting to take him down. One officer was pulled directly behind his car. Another had pulled his car in the front to block him in. He backed up his car forcefully, moving the car that was occupied by one of the detectives directly behind him. The car then drove forward, striking the other detective's vehicle that was there. Those detectives were in the process of getting out of the car to avoid being hit. They had to jump out of the subject's way as the subject rammed that car. That subject hit the second officer's car that was behind him again, struck another parked rental car in the parking garage, and continued to back through the parking garage. One of the detectives, fearing for the other officers who were en route, as well as the public's safety, he was already armed with his departmentally issued AR-15. He fired 3 shots at the suspect vehicle. All 3 of the shots struck the vehicle. The subject vehicle continued to flee out of the parking lot. A description was given out on the police radio of the vehicle description. That information was relayed to the patrol officers in the north side area. No officers or public were injured at the time of the shooting here in the garage. All 3 of the shots fired struck the vehicle. Again, that information was put out to patrol officers who found that vehicle in an apartment complex off of Dunn Avenue. There were 2 subjects in that car that got out of the vehicle. One subject was a 17-year-old black male. He was shot one time in the ankle. That shot occurred here at the airport, did not occur at the apartment complex where he was taken into custody. Another occupant of the car was a 27-year-old black male. He is the registered owner of the car that was shot here at the airport. The detective who did the shooting has been placed on administrative leave per our policy. I want to reiterate that this is still a very active investigation. There were several subjects in that vehicle. We have 2 of them in custody at this point in time. We know at least 1 is outstanding and possibly 2 more. We have no information at this point in time leading us to believe that that subject would still be in the area of the airport here. The officer who conducted the shooting today is a 9-year police veteran with the SWAT team. He's Edward Rogers. And the subject that we know is outstanding from this is the auto theft suspect. His name is Rodney Addison. He's a black male. He's 20. I can answer a few questions in reference to this.
Were there airport goers in the area at the time the shots were fired?
That is a very highly trafficked area of the parking garage. It is the rental car return area. There are quite a few people that are in and out of there. Nobody was hurt or injured or really in the immediate area when this all occurred. Again, their fear, these detectives at the scene, was that this is a subject who's already attempted to strike 2 other officers, auto theft suspect, the public safety is at risk. That's why the use of deadly force was employed.
And they were basically just trying to get away from you all and wound up in the parking garage?
They chose themselves to go in that parking garage. We're not sure exactly why. Again, another piece of what we're doing and what we're looking into. Where they stopped in the garage, like I alluded to, was an odd place that they parked their car next to another car. I don't know if they were attempting to steal another vehicle or what. These are known auto theft suspects, so this could be part of what they're doing, but that's just supposition.
You mentioned that there was cocaine found. Were the suspects armed?
At this point in time, the two suspects that we have in custody were not armed at the time. We're still going through our process of going through the car where we have it. We'll know better later exactly what was in that car at that time. But with one suspect still outstanding, there's no telling what they did have or didn't have. I can say they were armed with a several thousand-pound vehicle, which they attempted to run over two of our officers with.
Obviously, still a lot of pieces you guys are putting together. Can you explain in greater detail exactly how the shooting here at JIA is connected to the incident in the lockdown of Highlands Elementary School?
As the subject vehicle left the airport area, that description was put out to patrol officers over the police radio. Another officer had found that vehicle pulling into the apartment complex off of Dunn Avenue. The two subjects were apprehended at that point in time. Now, we have some other information that the middle school was placed on lockdown. We're trying to piece that together to find out if that is indeed related or not to this. There were several calls that were coming in at the same time, and again, something that we're still piecing together. We're only a few hours into this, and certainly is not wrapped up by any stretch of the mean.
Witnesses at that scene told us that they heard one single gunshot go off in that neighborhood. Can you confirm that?
I can't, and again, I can't even confirm that the incident that occurred at the middle school either is or isn't related to the incident that we had out here today. I know that two subjects were seen getting out of the white vehicle. That was involved here. I know that for a fact because the vehicle was shot up, and it's the same vehicle that the detectives were behind. So you have the incident at the school. Again, not sure if that's related or not. Witnesses could have reported hearing the shot, and that could be a completely separate incident.
Okay, and you said that there's one person still outstanding. Any suspect description? Anybody need to be looking out for any particular vehicle or person right now tonight?
I gave you the name of Rodney Atkinson. He's a black male who's 20. We can provide the picture that we have of him to you, and we would appreciate if any public has information as to Mr. Addison's location. They could certainly call the sheriff's office or Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous, but we would like to have him in custody.
Do you believe that he's on foot or using a vehicle?
It's hard to say. We're trying to follow through some information as to how he would have left the airport. It's not clear whether he left in the vehicle. He could have exited and left another way. There's a couple loose ends that are being tied up with that, so it could be either way. But know that this is a dangerous man. These detectives felt that enough that they employed deadly force to stop him, and he would be a hazard to the public. So.
And Chief, where do you guys go from here? Obviously, a lot of work ahead.
Yeah, we're still following up. I will hold a follow-up news conference tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. I will have some other information. Hopefully, some of these loose ends and questions that are asked tonight will be better tied up, and we can complete that tomorrow.
How lucky would you say your officers are tonight? It could have turned out a lot differently.
Yeah, I usually find myself talking when one of these officers employs deadly force. The job that we do is a dangerous job. The job that these SWAT detectives do, they are out looking for the wanted people, looking for the bad guys. They're very lucky to have not been struck by him. You don't know what goes through these suspects' minds. You ask, was he armed? Yeah, he was armed with a several thousand-pound car that would have run over and killed him. So they're lucky that they're going home to their families tonight.
Do we have a make and model of the vehicle?
The make and model of the car that was here was a Ford Crown Victoria. I can provide some additional details and possibly a photograph of that car tomorrow.
Any other questions?
There were 3 suspects. Are there more than that? There were 3, but are there more folks?
There is the potential that a 4th suspect was in that car. We're still running that down, so I don't want to confirm that there actually was a 4th person. I know for a fact that there were 3 in the car.
Any other questions?
So you're searching for one, possibly 2.
Searching for one who I've named and possibly another.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks,
you for your
Chief.
cooperation.
Thank you, appreciate it.